start with my introduction. Myself, Prabhat Joshi. I've been in Phoenix for somewhere around 10 to 12 years now, 11 years to be very precise. And I have been certified as a yoga instructor in 2017, and I've been conducting daily yoga sessions, not daily, but weekday yoga sessions since then. Pre-COVID, we used to do it in person, but post-COVID, supposed to go online. If you ask me personally, in person versus online, there are merits, advantages, disadvantages. You don't have to explicitly spend time to go to a place where we do yoga together. Advantage of online, and then disadvantage of online is we'll have to make the room ready for yoga, which is also needed. So there are both parts of it, but right now we don't have a choice. Then going with online. Probably I'll continue with online because that works for most of us. And I work for Infosys here in Phoenix. So we'll get started. So the way we'll plan for the schedule is first 10 to 15 minutes. We will spend time on Chandra Namaskar, basically getting to know Chandra Namaskar. Today's agenda is getting to know Chandra Namaskar, learning the nuances of each of the asanas that make the Chandra Namaskar, and then practice few Chandra Namaskars. Ultimately, in a couple of days, I want to pick the pace up so that we do at least 12 Chandra Namaskar. At least 12 Chandra Namaskars a day. And then we'll, the next 15 minutes, we'll focus on pranayam. Again, a different variation of pranayam each day. And on the last day, we'll try and do the 12 Chandra Namaskar and then quickly do all the revision of the 5 or 6 pranayams that we have learned. So to start with, we'll talk about a couple of minutes on the difference between Chandra Namaskar and Surya Namaskar, or where this all originates from. A little bit of theory on these two. So Surya Namaskar is a very famously known sequence or vinyasa of yoga. So, and Chandra Namaskar is the complementary part of it. So yoga, as you say, is a complementary, expansion and relaxation. The complement of these two is yoga. So what Surya Namaskar does is, there are 2 nadi in the human system, 3 nadi, Ida nadi, Pingala nadi, and Sushumna nadi. Sushumna nadi is the one that flows in the middle, and then Ida nadi and Pingala nadi are the ones which represent your masculine characters, and the other one represents your feminine characters. Again, masculine characters are your aggression or risk taking, and then feminine characters are your compassion. And then planning, all of these come under the feminine character, few of them. But a combination of these two, a balanced combination of these two makes you a perfect human being, either a perfect man or a perfect woman. So every man and woman need to have a combination of these two. Only then you become close to perfect individual. And in yogic way, the perfect human being that we know, not a human being, the perfect body that we know is Shiva. That is why he is called as Ardhanarishwara, where he has half of his attributes coming from Ida Nadi, which is the feminine, masculine characters, and then there is a Pingala Nadi. So that is why he is called as Ardhanarishwara, a perfect a combination of Ida and Pingala, a balance between Ida and Pingala. So with that, Surya Namaskar represents, fires your body up, fires your metabolism, it basically energizes you. That's why we do Surya Namaskar in the morning, so that it kickstarts your day. And what Chandra Namaskar on the other hand does is it cools you down, it triggers your feminine characters in you, and then it soothes you down. So that is why it is done during the fall part of the day. So we will. This is the basic of Surya Namaskar and Chandra Namaskar. We will get started with the actual asana itself. Before that, if anyone has any questions or anything that you want to ask, please feel free. Okay. So we'll get started. So I request all of you to please come, get on the floor or yoga mat. It is preferred you do with a yoga mat, even though I have a carpet here in my setting. It is better you do it on a yoga mat so that you are you don't slip and you're more stable. So we'll take a few seconds for a few minutes to do the first part of the Chandra Namaskar. So stand straight, palm straight, all the 5 digits together. They are not separate, but together. Going on your thighs, chest is straight, neck is straight. Don't overstretch, over pull, or bring it down. Keep it perfectly straight. Toes together, heels together. Ideally, if you keep the toes and heels together, the knees automatically touch, thighs automatically touch each other. So we'll go a little bit slower. Take a deep breath, and then as you inhale, raise your hands up. Touch your shoulders to the ears. Pull them up. Completely pull them up. Pull them up as high as possible. And you should start feeling a pull in your groin region. If you don't feel the pull in your groin region, you probably are not pulling it completely. There is still a scope for you to pull. Slowly relax. Bring the breath out. And then let's start with the left side. Switch to the left. Keep the shoulders touching the ears. And then stretch. This is the Ardha Kati Chakrasana. So that you can, I'll give a little bit theory about it. If you can hold in that asana well and good, otherwise stretch down. So the advantage of Ardha Kati Chakrasana is it gives you a stretch on one of the sides of the body. So it gives you a stretch on the sides of the body. So again, this is a part of cooling down. So after a day long stressful day, this loosens you down. So let's start. When we start, let's start with the standing on the right side of the yoga mat. This is my right. Maybe the image is shifted, but stay on the rightmost part of the yoga mat because we will again go into the left part later. Hands up. Everything that we do,
online.
everything that we do.
అదేదో గ్రూప్ క్రియేట్ చేసినారు వాళ్ళు దాంట్లో నుంచి
So stretch, bring it back, pull it vertically. Next, we'll go into the Devi Asana. So raise your left leg, stretch out. Now the subtle things that you probably want to note is the toes. When you move out, the toes need to point outward. That gives you stability. So make the toes point outward. Hands in the Chin Mudra. The index and the thumb touching each other. Chin Mudra. And no bending forward. Probably you can't bend backward because that's how the spine make is. The more and more you keep the feet stretched, you will be able to get a stability. Once you feel that you have got the stability, push your hips down. So stretch. This is a great hip opener. So if you're new to yoga, probably if you're doing recently, stay wherever comfortable. But if you have been practicing yoga for a while, then you probably can go further down. Slowly turn. On my side, the right leg, the feet points to the left. The left feet also points to the left. So everything, your whole body gets aligned to the left because we are moving everything in the left direction. And then the right hand comes and stands next to your left hand, and then the hands go up. This is Parivrata Trikonasana. The advantage of Parivrata Trikonasana is again, lateral twist. At the same time, it helps you with a lot of gut and digestion related issues. So once you are done with Parivrata Trikonasana, get the hand which is up, down, next to your feet. Knees are straight, the left as well as the right. Knees are straight, and then touch the forehead to the knee if possible. If not, wherever possible. If you cannot take your 2 hands to the ground, keep them on the knees or wherever you think you are more comfortable with. But the underlying point or the basic point is keep the knee straight. Don't do this, but keep the knee straight. Completely exhale. Next, Ashwasanchalalasana. Go down. Both the hands down. If you are new to yoga, but make sure you keep both the hands as well as the feet in the same line. But if you're little experienced, then try and raise the right knee up. This is a perfect way of doing Ashwasanchalanasana if you have a little more practice. But if you're new to yoga, then probably want to keep the knee down on the ground and touch it. Things to note, push your hip forward. That gives you a lot of stability. More you push your hip forward, the more stable you are. Squat down in Namaskar. If you are not able to go all the way down, it is okay to go as good as this or come up. But if you are able to go all the way down. Next, raise up. Again, in the middle. On the other side. Twist to your right and repeat the same thing. Ashwasanchalanasana. The toes shift towards the right. The left leg and the right leg point completely on the right. And then look up. Slowly go up and touch keep the knees straight. Touch the forehead to the knee. And the right hand stays next to the right. The left hand stays next to the right hand and then go up. Parivrtta Trikonasana. Come back up. Devyasana. Bring the left leg back where we had started. And then pull it up. So this completes one round of Chandra Namaskar. So we did it on the left side. So when we do the second time, switch to the right side of your yoga mat. And then the whole thing goes on the other side. So any questions before we go further to the next round? Please unmute yourself if you have a question. I know that we have done quite a lot, but feel free. Okay. No questions. Either it was too easy or probably you didn't get it at all. One of those two. All right. So we'll go to the next round. So is everyone comfortable going for the second round?
Yes.
Sir, we are just getting our breath
Okay.
for a few seconds. That's the reason there are no questions, but absolutely there are a couple of questions, Prabhat. First
take your time. Okay, go ahead.
First one is how long do we need to keep the stretch, at least an optimal time? Because I mean, now that we are trying to follow you, we are also looking at you. There might be a couple, slight imbalance for us, but just wanted to know how long we can stretch or keep that stretch for.
Got it. So typically, even the first round when I was doing, or probably the next round also will go way too slower, because there was a lot of talking, demonstrating than doing. Typically, 4 to 5 seconds, if you can hold in one pose, what will happen is in the first second or two, you will feel that you'll feel a barrier that your body doesn't really let you do that. So you will overcome that barrier in the first 2 seconds. After that, you'll start getting used to it, and then you'll feel comfortable. So at the end of 5th to 6th second, typically your body starts kind of getting used to that. That is when you enter into the comfort zone and then switch it back. So this is a whole cycle of yoga where you go into the uncomfortable zone, make yourself comfortable. The moment you're comfortable, you move out. So typically 5 seconds, but again, there is no hard and fast rule. The olden days, Rishi, in one of the yoga books, what I had read was the way rishis did yoga was they used to stand on a pose for 6 to 7 hours a day, and all they did was one asana the whole day. But that is way too ideal. But for us, it's I think 4 to 5 seconds should be good enough.
Prabhat sir,
Yeah.
where you keep your palm when you are keeping near that foot, front of foot or behind the foot?
Which pose is it? I didn't probably get.
After Devi, you turn and raise your
Yeah.
hand.
So after the Devi Asana, you twist completely. The feet is completely pivoted, and then once you pivot, this is a Paribhata Trikonasana. If you know the yoga names, Paribhata Trikonasana, the way it goes is, first thing is the left leg pivots, right feet pivots in the forward direction, your hips turn. So this is the first part of the asana. The second part is the back is straight, go forward, and then the hand stands next to the feet, and then the other hand goes up.
Okay, next to the foot. Yeah.
It's next to the feet, and then the knees go straight. So this is
Yes.
the sequence of Parivata Trikonasana.
Okay, thank you.
Prabhaji, could you also say breathe in, breathe out before the position?
Yes, that's a good point. Yes. Thumb rule again is when you bend down, it is breathe out. Abdomen is compressed, breathe out. Abdomen expands, breathe in. But that's definitely something that I will cover.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will get started with the second pose. Now, to balance it out, let's go to the rightmost side of the yoga mat. We'll probably do the last time today, for the day, and then pick up pace tomorrow because today it was more of theory. So stand to the right, leftmost part of the yoga mat. As you inhale, raise the hands up. Neck is straight. Keep the breath held. Pull yourself up. Slowly exhale and raise your right hand, right leg. Go up. I'm sorry, my bad. Just once your hands up, Ardha Kati Chakrasana. Now exhale. And then feet pointed outward. Devi Asana. Hips down. Normal breathing. The more you push your hips down, the better hip stretch you get. Feet turns. The left feet forward. The body turns. And then keep the knees straight. Go down. The left hand goes and stands next to the right feet. Left hand, right feet, exhale. Knees are straight. And then look up. Bring the other hand down. Plant it next to your feet if possible. Otherwise, wherever comfortable. Completely exhale and touch the forehead to the knee. And then go down into Ashwasanchalanasana. Looking up, push the hip forward. Go into the Namaskar. Switch up again into the Namaskar. On the other side, Namaskar. Repeat. Twist. Ashwasanchalanasana. Knees are straight. Now the right hand stays next to the left leg. Left hand goes up. And then come back into the Devi Asana. Left leg joins the right leg. Hands up. Stretch. And then come back. So this is two, we did 2 sets today. One on the right, rather 4 sets today. 2 on the right and 2 on the left. So one set is complete on the left. So we'll pick the pace up tomorrow when we do it. And probably we'll increase it to 8 if possible, because the talking part will be lesser. Any further questions before we go into the pranayam part? Okay, probably we should take some breath. So we'll do a very basic form of pranayam today, and then from tomorrow we'll start doing the Chandranalo and then the Suryanalo, and then we'll go into the different variations. But what we will do as a add-on to each day is we will add there are 4 bandha, and then there is a Ashwini Mudra, which is also a variation of the bandha itself. So we'll do the pranayam along with one of these bandha. So today's pranayam is basically inhale and exhale. And the way we do it is completely inhale. As you inhale, stretch your abdomen, let it completely stretch. And once you have stretched it, when you breathe out, close your mouth and chant Omkar. If you think closing the mouth and chanting Omkar is not very comfortable, feel free to say Om. Either of them is fine. So inhale and exhale. But the only thing that let's keep in mind is keep a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at this pace. See how much time you need to inhale completely. Everyone has their own pace. And then double it while you exhale. So if you're taking a breath in for 5 to a count of 5, make sure you exhale till the count of 10. So let's try to do the inhale and exhale in the ratio 1:2. Okay. So let's start that. And in between this, when we are completely out of breath, when we are completely exhale, then let's try to do the Moola Bandha. If you can all please go on the mute. Moola Bandha is again completely exhale. Pull the perineum and the anus, completely suck it in, and then hold it tight. Hold it tight for a couple of seconds, and then relax. So this, what it does is, when your body is out of breath, it puts a pressure from the bottom upward. So any indigested food gets pressurized and the gut gets cleared. So this, gradual practice of this over months will help you lose the, weight. At the same time, it helps you resolve a lot of kidney-related issues. So let's practice Moola Bandha if possible during the completely exhale state. So any questions? Okay, we will do 7 times inhale and exhale. That's the typical number that I take. So whenever you're done with 7 times inhale and exhale, go into Shavasana state. So hands in Chin Mudra, back straight. And while you're doing the inhale and exhalation, focus on the air going in. Feel the air that goes in from your nose all the way down to your abdomen. Feel the abdomen bulge. And while you exhale and while you chant Omkar, feel it go out and then completely inhale. Abdomen goes in. So feel that air in and out, and try to get your mind to think only about the air going in and out. And if your mind happens to think something else, it's perfectly okay. Bring it back. So that's ultimate aim of pranayam. Mind is a monkey. Let's put the monkey in the cage. Okay. So take a deep breath in. Close your eyes. Again, inhale. Last two times. If you're done with 7, lie down on the ground. Close your eyes. Stretch your legs. Relax. Palm facing upward. Neck tilted. Take a couple of deep breaths. Open your mouth and slowly breathe out. Starting from the feet, slowly start feeling the relaxation. Relax the feet, Feel the lightness in both the limbs. Feel the relaxation in your arms. Abdomen is relaxed. Neck is relaxed. Your mind is completely relaxed. Normal breathing. Take a deep breath in. Completely exhale. And then relax. Wiggle your feet. Wiggle your fingers. Move your neck around. Get the consciousness back. Keep the eyes still closed. Turn to your side, completely supported and very slow. Sit back. Hands in the pranam posture. Eyes are still closed. We'll chant Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah together. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Rub your palm. Get the heat. Bend down completely. Open your eyes. Thank you. Thanks for joining. So if you have any suggestions or feedback on, what went well, what didn't go well, what we can change, kind of a retrospective, please let me know here in the call, or if you think you want to post it later or send it to me, either way is fine. Please share your feedback so that we can improvise on it. Every day is an improvisation. So please share. Okay. Okay.
Namaste. Thank you.
No. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Prabhuji.
much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Prabhatji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Oh man, thank you.
thank you, Prabhatji.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you. I think we should get more. I think a lot of people are dropped. We should get more kids to join also. That's really good. Oh, there is one. At least there are two. Hi. Oh, there are more. There are more. Oh, okay. Probably I should show this to my kids so that my kids also join from tomorrow. They went to swimming, so they couldn't join, but I'll probably get them tomorrow.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Sure.
So while doing breathe in, breathe out pranayama exercise, do we need to hold on to our breath? Because whenever that optionally happens, whenever we breathe in and try to breathe out and then do the last asana, like pulling out everything, you are holding your breath for a couple of seconds and then releasing it once all
Yeah,
along.
so got it. So while you're doing the asana, preferably not hold the breath, because the moment you hold the breath, you're holding everything up. So while you're, let's say you're doing asana where you have to bend down or go back. So don't hold the breath. Inhale, exhale, and in between, when you're at the peak of the asana, when you're at the when you're doing the asana, do a normal breath. It's called as shallow breathing, slow breathing, which doesn't affect the asana. At the same time, you're not holding in or out. So, but while you go into the asana, definitely take a breath in and out based on which asana you're doing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sure. Any?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.